I spoke in this chamber about a Farm Bill listening tour that I had conducted in my own district, traveling to every county that I represent to hear from and listen to input and the concerns from farmers, ranchers, and producers across the state of Washington. In the days since then, the House passed that bill early this summer. There's been growing concern that the job would not get done, that the 2014 Farm Bill would expire, and that our nation's farm country would be left without the crucial tools that this legislation provides to strengthen the farm safety net and provide certainty and flexibility to America's farmers and ranchers. Fortunately, with the legislation before us today, we can report that this is not the case. After months of painstaking negotiations between the House and the Senate conferees, we have an agreement before us. This agreement, while not including several provisions that I would have liked to have seen, sets us on a better path for our farmers and ranchers, for our rural communities, for small businesses, and for consumers across the country at the grocery store and at kitchen tables. With this conference agreement to the Farm Bill, I can now go back to my district and confidently report to my constituents that we have provided a strong foundation to help our farmers survive a 50% drop in net farm income over the past 5 years. I can go back to Okanagan County and tell my constituents in Pateras that we have strengthened market access programs and provided strong resources to open new sources for exporting across the globe. I can tell farmers in Grant County that we have protected crop insurance and made several key improvements, including for whole farm revenue coverage for specialty crop producers. I can tell dairy producers in Yakima County that we have improved the dairy safety net for large, mid-sized, and small dairies. I can report back to producers in Prosser and Benton County who stress the importance of agricultural research that we have provided an increase in funding for research, for extension, and for education projects. With the bill before us, I can let key agricultural partners in our communities, like Washington State University, know that we will keep American agriculture at the forefront of innovation and productivity. Farmers from East Wenatchee will hear from me that this Farm Bill invests in critical cost share and incentive-based programs to help farm families improve our soil, water, and other natural resources. And I can tell farmers in Othello and Adams County, concerned with the regulatory burdens on their shoulders, that this legislation protects our producers from costly, additional, unnecessary red tape. Mr. Speaker, I am proud to rise today as a third-generation farmer to say that this Farm Bill takes strong steps to address challenges facing America's agricultural community. The rule we bring before the House provides for further consideration of the conference report to H.R. 2, the Agriculture and Nutrition Act, legislation that is critically important to my district in Central Washington and to rural districts across this great country. This legislation maintains and strengthens important policies like price loss coverage, agricultural risk coverage, commodity loans, dairy margin coverage, livestock disaster programs, and crop insurance. It enhances and permanently funds the Foreign Market Development Program and technical assistance for specialty crops, which are so vital for export-driven agricultural economies like my state of Washington has. It increases funding for land-grant universities, research, extension, and education, as well as special research initiatives, including for specialty crops and organic research. This legislation makes strides to expand quality broadband to all of rural America by including forward-looking standards to ensure that we are meeting next-generation rural broadband needs. It also improves the tools available to reduce forest fuel loads that increase the size and force of catastrophic wildfires. By renewing key categorical exclusions and expanding its purpose to allow for expedited reduction of hazardous fuels in our forests, we can continue to reduce the threat of these wildfires pose on rural communities. Mr. Speaker, with support from the 2014 Farm Bill, American farmers have been able to combat depressed prices and severe drops in farm income, but they would not have been able to do so without a robust safety net in place. The conference report before us will build upon this effort and ensure a steady food supply will be on the shelves in our markets for years to come. As I mentioned, it doesn't include everything I would have liked to have seen in this bill, but in reality, no piece of legislation is perfect, particularly comprehensive bills that have been negotiated for months. But the fact of the matter is, this Farm Bill includes important and significant wins for American farmers and ranchers. It is now our responsibility to get the job done. Mr. Speaker, the People's House has more than 20 farmers, ranchers, and producers serving in this body. Among us are a dairyman from Central California, a blueberry farmer from Maine, a rancher from South Dakota, 2 rice farmers, one from California and another from Minnesota, a cattleman from Kentucky, an almond farmer from California, and yes, a proud hops farmer from the Yakima Valley of Washington State. This is the first farm bill that I've had the opportunity to engage in since coming to Congress, Mr. Speaker, but I've spent my whole life on the farm, and my life in public service, including serving as Washington State's Director of the Department of Agriculture, has been spent working on behalf of American farmers, ranchers, rural communities, and families. It is an honor today to bring this rule forward for the conference report to accompany the Farm Bill H.R. 2, the Agriculture and Nutrition Act. I humbly urge my colleagues to support the rule, support the bill, and strengthen the future for America's farmers and all those who depend on them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time.